Peace, 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 love and bliss. Everyone that comes in, I'm not gonna waste much time. What I'm gonna do is get right into it, right? There's a lot I want to go over, so when you come in, you rewind, hit the rewind.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the committee's oversight hearing on select provisions of the 1866 Reconstruction Treaties between the United States and Oklahoma tribes. In the 1830s, the U.S. forcibly removed the Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Muskogee Creek, and Seminole nations from their ancestral homelands in the southeast to Oklahoma on the Trail of Tears. At the same time, individual members of the 5 tribes enslaved Black people, continuing to do so through the Civil War. In 1866, the 5 tribes signed treaties with the United States, which further reduced their land holdings and contained provisions about emancipation of enslaved peoples who are collectively referred to as the freedmen. Now, for the first time in the history of the United States Senate, these sovereign signatory tribes, freedmen descendants, and the administration have an opportunity to present their views on the 1866 treaties for the record. I understand and acknowledge that this is a difficult conversation because this issue at its core involves injustices perpetrated by the United States government more than a century ago against both Native Americans and African Americans. It is emotionally charged for many and for good reason. Years-long litigation and disagreement over citizenship status of freedmen descendants among the 5 treaty tribes has divided communities and even divided individual families. But disagreements cannot get resolved in silence. And so we will soon be hearing from tribal leaders and representatives for each of the 5 tribes who will speak to their nation's treaty provisions with respect to freedmen descendants. Representative Waters, who has fought for freedmen descendants' rights for years, particularly in her leadership of the House Financial Services Committee, as well as Marilyn Van, whose advocacy through her organization has raised awareness for freedmen descendants of all 5 tribes. And later this afternoon, I look forward to a deeper dialogue with individual leaders of freedmen groups. So it is our goal today to start a respectful dialogue, to listen to different perspectives, both in a formal setting and informally among members of Congress, tribal leaders, and freedmen advocates, and to educate the committee and the public with informed accounts relating to our nation's 2 greatest failures: the removal of Native peoples from their traditional homelands and the enslavement of Black people. Descendants of both, many here today, still carry the pain of those grave injustices. I look forward to a respectful conversation that takes into account the historic importance of this hearing. I'll now recognize Vice Chair Murkowski for an opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for convening today's very, very important and, as you have noted, a historic hearing. I apologize that I'm not there in person, but COVID is keeping me here in Alaska for this week. The history of the post-Civil War Reconstruction Treaty tribes, the Cherokee, the Chickasaw, Choctaw, Muskogee, and Seminole nations, often referred to as the 5 tribes, and the freedmen, the lineal descendants of African American slaves owned by the 5 tribes, is part of history that perhaps many Americans are not familiar with, nor do they fully understand. It is a complicated history of injustice and of sorrow for both Indian tribes and African Americans. And as you have noted, Mr. Chairman, this can be an uncomfortable discussion. It can be uncomfortable to talk about what was brought on by the federal government's own policies of forced removal of Native peoples from their ancestral homelands and the enslavement of African peoples. I understand that each of the 5 tribes has a very unique history with freedmen based on separate treaties with the United States. So I am interested in learning more about what these treaties entail and the obligations of both the tribes and the federal government to freedmen descendants. So I do want to say how appreciative I am that the Indian Affairs Committee is examining this history, and that the 5 tribes and the freedmen descendants are here, along with the Department of Interior, to have a constructive and, again, a respectful dialogue about how we might move forward together. This is indeed long, long overdue. I agree with the chairman that we should task the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, with investigating what federal services the freedmen receive and should receive in the future from the federal government. And with that, I turn back to you, Mr. Chairman. Again, thank you for convening this very important and very substantive hearing. And for the many witnesses that are there in person today, thank you for traveling to be before the committee on a very important topic. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Murkowski, and we wish you a speedy recovery and look forward to seeing you soon. Are there other members of the committee wishing to make an opening statement? If not, we'll turn to our first witness, who is a towering figure in history enough so that she comprises her own panel.
Cool.
We are pleased to introduce the Honorable Maxine Waters, U.S. Representative for the 43rd Congressional District in California. Congresswoman, your full written testimony will be made part of the official hearing record, and we look forward to your remarks. Please proceed with your testimony.
Thank you very much, Chairman Schultz. Vice Chair Murkowski and members of the committee. Today I'm here to discuss an issue I care very deeply about, but has been ignored for far too long. Many remain unfamiliar with the history of those who came to be known as the Native American freedmen and the ongoing plight of their descendants. The freedmen were Black individuals who were enslaved by 5 formerly slave-holding tribal nations and were forced to walk and suffer on the Trail of Tears alongside their slave masters. A year after the Civil War ended, the 5 tribes agreed to abolish slavery and accept freedmen and their descendants as full tribal citizens under the 1866 treaty agreements they made with the United States government. Specifically, the 1866 treaties required the 5.
Oh, wow. We know this, right? But let's just hear them spell it out, right? So the treaties that were set up by these 5 tribes, these 5 Siberian tribes, I might add, but that's a whole nother story. But the tribes that have been set up by them, and let's just listen to this. Let's listen very closely to the terminology. Listen to what they're saying when they're telling you about these Black African-American slaves that were enslaved to these freaking Siberian people. Are you serious right now? The Teutons, the ones that crossed the Black and White Sea, remember? Remember, we just read in the book the other day, and it was telling you about the frontiersmen and the pioneersmen and the Quakers. These were all what? All the Black frontiersmen. Are these the slaves they're talking about? But it was telling you that these frontiersmen, some of them were marrying the Indian women, and they were taking their funding, right? Having them all sleeping in the woods in the cabin somewhere they used to while they in the city living it up. You know what I'm saying? Done took their name and their fortune and their dowry, right? Remember that? You know, women had dowries. They had everything that belongs to them. It came from their heresy and their ancestral line. Peace and love, peace and bliss to all my loved ones. You guys know y'all loved, y'all the best. Yep. So you got African ancestry more than likely, Devion. If your ancestors were Quakers, they're Moors and they're African. I want to a little later. I might have you jump up, brother, real quick though, because I got a lot of stuff to go. But I really want you to get into that. I know what you were telling me about your family and some things. So just to show exactly what I'm talking about with that, if you don't mind, let me know in the chat. Just for maybe 10 or 15 minutes of your time to go over that, so they can see exactly what I'm talking about. But I want y'all to listen to a little bit more of this. Let's just listen up. Listen up to all the Senate Indian Affairs hearing meeting, right? Because this is the Senate Indian Affairs hearing of 1866 Reconstruction that happened, the treaties between the United States and the Oklahoma Indians and these natives, so on and so forth. They're discussing the matters at hand. These are all in legal documents. I got quite a few of these myself. Y'all already know. I might pull some things up because I want to get into some other things in a minute. But yeah, let's check this out.
Tribes to abolish slavery and to agree to treat and accept formerly enslaved individuals and their lineal descendants as equal tribal citizens. For example, the treaty signed by the Cherokee Nation reads, and I quote, "All native-born Cherokee, all Indians and whites legally members of the nation by adoption, and all freemen who have been liberated by voluntary act of their former owners or by law, as well as free colored persons who were in the country at the commencement of the rebellion and are now residents therein, or who may return within 6 months from the 19th day of July, 1866, and their descendants who reside within the limits of the Cherokee Nation shall be taken and deemed to be citizens of the Cherokee Nation," quote unquote. The 4 other tribes all signed similar treaties. Despite the fact that these treaty obligations still exist and are binding on the
Even though them treaties don't mean shit. Let's keep that in mind. We hear what they saying, right? We're listening to this for the information and documentation that these people have now, but we know we really ain't giving a damn about what they saying. We just want to know what y'all trying to do, what y'all thought y'all did, right? When they talking about these fake ass false treaties. What about the treaties of the 6 nations? What happened to that? What happened to the Constitution that the 6 nations had prepared? What are y'all talking about? The 5 damn nations? Who the hell are they? Like, we really believe this shit, but let's listen.
5 tribes beginning in the late 1970s and early 1980s, the tribes began to take formal actions to take away the citizenship rights of descendants of freedmen. For instance, in 1983, freedmen were prohibited from voting in Cherokee Nation elections and received letters informing them that their
Now,
citizenship.
keep in mind, I want to clarify something. I'm pissed off about what they're saying, but I want to clarify something with you guys, right? What she's saying is absolutely true as to what's happening. When I said at the beginning, if you didn't see that, make sure you're paying attention to the terminology and the things they're saying. When he introduced her, the first thing he was saying was that yes, the Native Americans and the African Americans, making a distinction between the African Americans and the Native Americans. So they tell us that we are what? African Americans, right? But we're really not. We know that. But this is the terminology that's put on us. So keep that in mind. Now, going into this is talking about the $3 Indians, right? The bought half-ass traded as Indians, the $3 Indians. So when them coming into setting up the reservations, remember guys, we know that they reserved the nation. That's a reservation. They were reserving the nation, creating the nation, the Creek, Muscogee, Cherokee, all these ones that they created that will go into these treaties now. So boom, they have created these nations, set them up, Reconstruction, so on and so forth. It tells you right here, Indian Affairs on the 1866 Reconstruction treaties. So they just reconstruct and change things because see, the original treaties, I think I've shown you 1 or 2 before, from the original 6 tribes. You guys remember the 6 tribes, the 6 nations, not even tribes. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the 5 tribes. They talking about the damn tribe. Shit, they talking about 5 tribes. We talking about the 6 nations and their rules and what was set up, their constitution, all of that shit. What happened to it? Okay, because see, that's really what's binding, you know. Those documents and things that they're showing is totally offhand. Okay, man, I'm going to get into something else, but I definitely want you guys to hear some more of this. Let's go.
Citizenship had been canceled. In 2007, the Cherokee amended their constitution to limit citizenship to only individuals who were, quote, Cherokee by blood, unquote.
By blood.
These actions led to years of litigation that was finally settled in 2017, when a federal district court judge ruled in favor of the freedmen and their right to citizenship. In this ruling, the judge stated, and I quote, "In accordance with Article 9 of the 1866 treaty, the Cherokee freedmen have a present right to citizenship in the Cherokee Nation that is coexistent with the rights of Native Cherokees, quote unquote. Following the court decision,
The right to, they got the right to citizenship. You hear this shit? Now, do y'all hear them making it sound like it's something great and grand and like, oh my gosh, they have a right to this. This is something everyone wants. Everyone that's not a part of America wants. Remember, see, this is the misnomer they put in people's head. Oh, citizenship, the great America, the great, you can go and just, you can live your dream, the American dream, and the great apple pie, and the apple in New York, and all these fucking symbolisms of big BS that they put in people's head. But when all actuality, citizenship is only a benefit of people that are not of this land, right? Citizenship only benefits the people that are using and plotting and abusing and mistreating, the land and the people of the land, right? So that's what citizenship is. Now, but I want you guys to listen still, let's still listen to her points. She's got valid points at that.
Which the Cherokee Nation accepted as binding. The tribe has taken actions to comply with the decision and ensure that descendants of freedmen are treated as equal citizens. Before my committee, Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin testified that these actions have made the Cherokee Nation, quote, a better nation for having recognized full and equal citizenship of freedmen descendants. Despite the actions of the Cherokee to right the wrong inflicted on its freedmen, the descendants of freedmen of the other 4 tribes continue to be denied tribal citizenship and other basic rights associated with citizenship, like equal access to federally funded affordable housing. My committee even heard testimony last year that freedmen have even been denied access to life-saving vaccines during the ongoing pandemic. It was this testimony that prompted even the Biden administration to designate all Seminole freedmen as eligible for healthcare services, including the COVID vaccine, through the Indian Health Service. However, this only decision only applies to Seminole freedmen and not freedmen from the other tribes. We know that equal access to housing sits at the heart of many of
I'm gonna grab a drink. I'm gonna pause this because I want anyone to tell me what Miss Waters' surname is. What's her surname? I just want to know. I'm gonna grab a drink and give you guys a minute to think about it, and let's think of what her surname is. Let's go.
Racial and economic injustices we continue to see across the country today. As chairwoman of the House Financial Services Committee, I recognize that Native communities face some of the worst housing conditions in the United States. It is also important to recognize that the legacy of land and cultural disenfranchisement has created and maintained these circumstances. That is why I propose providing $2 billion for affordable housing in tribal communities in my Housing is Infrastructure Act, and why I'm moving to reauthorize NAHASDA with language that ensures.
Oh, isn't Maxine wonderful? Isn't she just great? Isn't she awesome? You guys hear this? She's just moving for all these things to happen for who? Who she said? Do anybody know what her middle name or surname would be? Absolutely. That's the majority of us, brother, going through this shit right now. Check this out. This is her wait a minute. Check. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta respond to this message real quick. I'm sorry, I'll be right with you guys. Give me like 2.2 seconds. Literally. Okay. Yes. So many of us are just going without, and they got Section 3 housing. I told you about Section 3 housing a couple of months ago. Anybody looked into it? Me and the sister working on something with it right now. But in the meantime, any of y'all looked into it? I bet y'all ain't even check it out, did you? Okay, let me put this down. This is her surname. This is her surname. Now let's listen to Maxine Moore Waters. Let's listen to the Moore. She probably had descendants of a Quaker, a pioneer, or a what's the other one? The Quaker, the pioneer, and man, I hate when the name slipped my freaking mind. Y'all know which one, the third one, the Frontiers ones. So yeah, let's go.
That descendants of freedmen have equal access to these resources as the 1866 treaties promised. When Barney Frank,
meaning, remember, they call you an African American, right? Yeah, she gone, sis. We know she gone. Yeah, sis, we know. We're talking about what they putting out in the with the thing. What's going on right now? You know, this is something that they were putting in the what do you call it? Oh gosh. In the house. This is in the house in the house. So basically the actor, whoever the clone, you know, regardless, is her putting this crap out, or the actor, or whoever, but they're putting this information out. And listen, my focus is I'm gonna try to listen to the wording and what she's saying, the terms she's using, so on and so forth.
my predecessor was chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. He recognized the plight of the freedmen and was a staunch advocate for their rights. I worked closely with him on legislation to prevent tribes from disenfranchising their descendants.
Oh, really?
As ranking member and now chairwoman of the committee, I continue that fight for justice for the descendants of freedmen. Currently, there are tribes that are implementing federally funded programs in a way that actively discriminates against descendants of freedmen in direct violation of treaty obligations. Congress has every right to ensure that federal funding implemented in compliance with all relevant obligations. We must stand by the rights promised to freedmen and the treaties that guaranteed those rights over a century ago and hold these tribes accountable. I'd like to say how proud I am of the descendants of Native freedmen who have never wavered in their fight for human dignity and equal recognition, even when it seemed no one would listen, even with the growing movement for reparations that recognizes the forced and uncompensated labor that built this country and the riches amassed because of it. It seems that the fight of the descendants of freedmen still has never been rightfully acknowledged and affirmed. This pandemic has made clear that the ongoing discrimination of the freedmen descendants can literally mean the difference between life and death for descendants of freedmen who have been denied COVID vaccines. So I urge the distinguished members of this committee, we must honor our word as a nation and uphold as honorable people the obligations of these treaties. This is as much true for the United States government, which has failed to meet all of its treaty obligations, as it is for the 5 tribes. This work is ongoing, and it is the obligation to the descendants of freedmen that can't be left out of that conversation. I want to thank again Senator Schatz for holding this important hearing and working with me on this issue. And I must indicate that even though there appears to be only
We're not
one.
going to listen to this whole hour and 37 dang minutes. I wanted y'all to just hear this, right? There's a lot more to this. I'm going to drop the link in the chat because I want you guys to go back and listen to it seriously, but I'm just not in the mood to listen to it again. All this psychobabble. But yeah, this is the link. We'll listen to a few minutes more and we're going to keep it moving. But what I want you guys to understand in the wording and everything that she's using, right? You keep hearing her say Black, African American, you know, the natives, you know, so on and so forth, and making the distinction that they were slaves. So they're saying that all these natives, all these pale skins that came in, Siberian pales, the Russians, the Siberians, all these people that came in, right? They were the ones that had the Indian people slaves. But if they was the Indian, how was they slaving them? Did they bring them in on the slaves? I thought that the white man brought them in on the slave. We got to make the story make sense. Make sure when you're creating the story, guys, let me tell you how it's done, right? You know, I ain't gonna tell all that, but a few things, right? You must have a narration for your story. You must know what's going on. You need to know the beginning most times. You don't always, depend on what you're writing, have to know the ending, but you should have a narration of what you're thinking is going to happen throughout this storyline, right? And then when you're putting the stuff together, right, it has to make sense. So when we listen to these people's stories, right, it's like maybe they mixed up a few chapters, left with one or two out, because none of this should be making sense to me. Like none of it be making sense. They keep now they're telling they pushed the slave ship story for the damn longest, right? Now, after pushing the slave ship story, now they're going on to saying, oh, well, no, these natives were having all these slaves and, they enslaved. Well, where did the natives get the slaves from? When did they cross the water to grab slaves from Africa and bring them over here? I'm missing that part. I don't know, like, is it me? Like, or like, I don't know. I just, I like to break things down. And when it comes to the sense of it, definitely, brother, definitely. When it comes to the sense of it, does any of that make sense? Like, first they tell you the one story. Now they tell you this other story. So now they looking like, oh, these people waking up, so we got to make something else make sense. They can't make too much sense of it them damn selves. So they're trying to put things out and narratives into the mix, right? So where we have the Quakers and pioneers and so on and so forth, we'll call them the black natives, as I was telling my sis when I describe them now. When y'all hear me talk about the black natives, the black natives are the pioneers, the I don't know why I can't keep saying this name. The pioneers, the frontiersmen, the pioneers, the frontiersmen, and the Quakers. When y'all hear me say the black natives, y'all know that's who I'm talking about, right? Because we had the black natives and we have the white natives. See, it was two. The black natives and the white natives. So they had the black and the white natives mixing. And then we have all these different mulattoes that were coming into effect, right? Not to say they didn't mix with some of our people, because, they did, of course, because we were all over the damn place. Shit, we couldn't help it. But, of course, a lot of these mixed people, when you see all these mixed different races, they were slaves of the dark people that were Ethiopian, from Rome at the time, basically. These people came with money. These frontiermen, the Quakers, pioneers, they had money. They had to have money to come over here a lot of times. As we read in the book, I read to you guys in the book, the black Quaker said he had servants and slaves, right? There was white servants and slaves. Did y'all miss that? So the Quaker had the white servants and slaves. They were the ones that brought the white slaves. So they tried to tell you, oh, they came over on the boat. Nah, shit, y'all came over as slaves from on the boat with those with the Moors that had the money, right? The frontiersmen, the pioneers, the Quakers, they had the bread. So they brought y'all over here for servitude and slavery, trying to build up over here. And why they greedy ass was trying to build up over here, that's why they lost their shit over there. Yeah, trying to be greedy. That's what happens. When you're greedy, you can't have your cake and eat it damn too. So they were sitting up here doing this. I want to get into the story. So basically, let me fast forward. So now, when we think about it, let me read this. The slavery is arresting people and putting them in debt. When you owe private companies, you can keep freedom, but not the states. That's correct. So when you're thinking about this, right, they're telling you these things. And when listening to this story, you keep hearing them say, oh, the black Moors, the black Moors, the black Moors. Now, why? Not the black Moors, I'm lying. They ain't saying the black Moors shit. They saying the African Americans, because they trying to make you think they talking about you. Let's try to make them think we talking about them. We call them all African American. No, y'all talking about y'all ancestors. You with me, brother? I already know you with me. Tony always got it. He be right with me. Yep, sis. He hear it. The truth hit like what a bell. So now they talking about their ancestors. That's why they always pushing this black, African American, because see, everything's fallen. The system they set up to keep and continue to enslave you and dupe you more. That system has fallen. It's not falling, it's damn fallen. It's been gone. It's been done. It's been done since 33, and they've been trying all kind of schemes and scams since then. So now, after 80 years, shit, they can't come up with nothing else. So now they taking money any way they can out of this, while they still got certain paperwork in to do certain things, using different people, organizations, so on and so forth, right? Remember, I showed you guys the articles of incorporation. They don't even got to live here. Shit. They create the companies, so on and so forth. So now they go back where they come from, start building over there. They pull in, siphon the money from here, getting everything they can from y'all because what? They got y'all in servitude. They got y'all in slave. This shit's so freaking deep right now. Y'all don't even understand how deep this shit is. They got y'all in slavery from a whole nother damn land. They somewhere, let's say they in India and they got like 10 companies here. That's a minimum shit. They in India and they got 10 companies here. Y'all working for them. Y'all know y'all they slave, right? y'all know that, right? They got y'all signature. They took y'all paperwork. Now they trading you on the market because you was a full-time slave. They getting all your bread. What? And then they getting double. They getting the work out of you, whatever you making, the profit from the product that y'all producing, because you are the producer. You're the currency. You are the only currency in this fucking planet. Like literally, when they talk about the currency, you're the currency. The current, C-U-R-R-E-N-T-S-E-A. The currency is the currency, the C-U-R-R-E-N-C-Y. Same damn difference. I hope y'all understand this shit. You know, they got all these people out here telling you all these different things. Oh, go, you got to do this and get in the tribe and do this. Listen. You better handle your damn self before you worry about getting in any damn tribe or anything else. Learn what you need to be doing for you and yours. Fuck the tribe. That's real talk. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm not saying it ain't important. It's important if you got all your shit, you got your paperwork together. You need to be getting paid right now. There's no way you should be working at a corporation. Me, unfortunately, I just came into a lot of this information or even seeking information about the genealogy and all that within the last 3 years. Y'all know I just came around 3 years ago. I wasn't thinking none of this stuff. I didn't know. I ain't even asked my mom about none of this other than knowing my grandmother telling me when I was little that I was Indian. You know, I ain't think nothing about that. So I started hearing the brother talk about it. I'm like, oh, snap, wait, that's me. What's up? You know? So now it's new to me. I'm in the middle now. I'm still doing my genealogy. But I have found my relative. But see, I have to get all my paperwork in order. We've done the trail, I've done the search, the genealogist that I'm working with, we've done a lot of that stuff, but I still got to get certain paperwork and stuff. I haven't even been able to do that. It's just so much. A lot of this stuff, it takes time. It takes money. You got to really do your shit. This is what I'm telling you. I'll be spending time trying to make sure y'all getting at least to where I'm at. I can't even advance myself half the damn time. Like real talk. That's why I'm about to, But listen, all I'm saying is that we got to really be getting our minds together when it comes to this stuff, because it's such a facade and a charade of everything that's been going on. It's so hard for us to really understand what's going on when it comes to this shit, because they have fooled you and put so many different things in your way when it comes to mental, physical, and spiritual alchemy that's been used against you, on top of witchcraft, sorcery, all of this shit. It gets so deep and it's crazy. So what happens is, right, we got to remember, take advantage if you can. If you got your records, brother, you should be. I'll work with you, brother. Hit me up, But listen, if you got your records, y'all know I'm doing the Indian class. I forgot about that. Let me mention that. I only had a few people sign up. I'm only gonna do this one time this year. Real talk. Indian course on all information and docs. I'm sending it out. Okay, y'all know what to do. Hit the Cash App. This ain't free. I ain't even playing with y'all. Hit the Cash App if you want to get in there. 125. Let me put it in the chat for y'all for real. 125. Send it to me. Put your memo. Put your email. Everybody, I don't care how many times I say it and mention it. Put your email. Put your email. People just never put the email. That should be crazy to me. Y'all you sending your money where you want me to send this work to. Like, this would be crazy. But let me see. Yeah, hit me up if y'all want to get in there, because I don't got time. I'm doing this once. This is only once a year thing, because this is a lot of information. It's a lot of documents I'm gonna have to share and kind of explain a little bit and all of that. So yeah. Shit, I got to work for that shit and I ain't even finished doing mine yet. Like, real talk, this shit is so crazy to me. And I'm still trying to help y'all people. And like, shit is crazy. Okay, so check it out, y'all. As I said, I don't even know where I left off at, because I just went to thinking about this shit. Like, this should be crazy. I just be doing so much trying to help people, and the shit is like so time consuming, and like really I ain't getting no support from y'all. I get a little support. I don't want to be, oh, send me a cash app, send me a cash app, but damn, send me an effing cash app sometimes. You and me, I do it all the time. Just send it once. You got a couple dollars, $1, $2. I mean, I'm not begging for you to break your pocket or anything. Just show me some love, a little support. I mean, I know everybody is hard out here. I don't expect people to be having these large donations, like people that's in these organizations and groups and working for the Boule and shit like that. Oh, they can go to these black panels and get them $100 cash apps and shit and $100 super chats and stuff like that, because it makes them look good. That's part of the game, part of the plan. I'm very well aware of that. You know, but when it comes to the sincerity of it all, like the real people, y'all make sure, you know, if you don't got it, you know, y'all in y'all spirit, you know, if you do or not. The ones that don't got it, y'all, you know, it's still the same love. But if you do got it and you ain't giving it, like really, that energy will backfire on you, because I know that for a fact. Like real talk. But I want y'all to listen to this a little bit more. Check out this wording. As I said, this is so important. Check out this wording.
Representative here for the freedmen. I would like, if at all possible, to make sure that the voices of other freedmen are heard in some sense, in some way. And while I'm pleased that the United States Senate is finally hearing testimony from a freedman descendant, I must state that hearing from more voices, not less, is the key to productive dialogue. It is when we don't expand our table to hear more from those who have been disenfranchised that injustices and systemic inequities are perpetuated.
Who's been more disenfranchised than the free man? We're not talking about the freedmen, the Moors. We're talking about the free man. Who's been more disenfranchised than the freemen?
So moving forward, I'm convinced that we can work together to not simply uplift the voices of freedmen, but also to recognize the shared suffering of Native freedmen and Native Americans forced to walk that trail of tears together, and the need to honor the treaties of 1866. I do not believe that the documented history of the descendants of freedmen can be ignored, forgotten, or dismissed any longer. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman Waters. We appreciate your testimony. Members may submit follow-up questions for the record, and you are excused as we prepare our next panel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Broke ass bums, thieving bastards. Excuse my language, but that's
If the panelists could take their seats as we're introducing them, I
Criminal.
appreciate it.
gangs.
For our second panel, we have the Honorable Brian Newland, Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs at the U.S. Department of Interior. The Honorable Chuck
Next
Hoskin
criminal.
Jr., Principal Chief, Cherokee Nation
Next
in Oklahoma.
criminal.
The Honorable Lewis J. Johnson, Chief of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. The Honorable Michael Barrage, General Counsel, Choctaw Nation. The Honorable Jonadev Chowdhury, Ambassador, the Muskogee Creek Nation. Mr. Stephen Greetham, Senior Counsel, Chickasaw Nation. And Ms. Marilyn Van, President, Descendants of Freedmen of the Five Tribes Association
Freed.
in Oklahoma. I want to remind our witnesses that your full written testimony will be made of the part of the official hearing record, and we would really appreciate it if you could keep your remarks to 5 minutes, because this is an extraordinarily packed panel. And we will start with Secretary Newland. Please proceed with your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. Thanks to Vice Chair Murkowski and members of the committee. It's great to be here today. My name is Brian Newland. I have the privilege of serving as Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs here at the Department of the Interior. I want to thank the committee for the opportunity to present the department's testimony at this important oversight hearing on select provisions of the 1866 Reconstruction Treaties between the United States and the Five Tribes in Oklahoma. Several of these treaty provisions provide certain rights and privileges to some freedmen, who are people who were enslaved and later released from servitude by the Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Muskogee Creek, and Seminole Nations, called at times the Five Tribes. The department appreciates the opportunity to discuss these important treaty provisions. Each of the five tribes enacted laws supporting enslavement and/or restricting the rights of enslaved people. In 1866, after the Civil War, each of the five tribes entered into treaties with the United States. Those treaties contain provisions addressing the status and rights of freedmen and persons of African descent residing amongst the five tribes. It is important to understand that there is no single treaty.
What did I just say to you guys, right? I want y'all to hear for yourself. I don't want to listen too much more of this, but y'all heard them say, right? Persons of African descent. We are not persons of African descent. We never have been. We never will be. No matter how many times they say it, change and reconstruct history, stories, books, ledgers, documents, state laws. That's not going to change the fact that we never descended from that place. So when they're talking about these freedmen, remember the freedmen this is part of their story. Oh, we push this big slave ass narrative. This is part of their story. See, now they have the story, right, that reads all these African slaves, that came here that were never owners of anything. When in all actuality, they were their Black natives that were playing a part of their theatrics. Remember, they had to have all these actors and actresses. Remember a few months back, I showed y'all when the federal government went through and hired all the actors and actresses. Remember? They had a whole thing about hiring all these actors and actresses. So now they had all these people coming in as well, perpetrating a fraud, doing what they need to do to come play their part as a citizen, to sit us in a space. And they get paid for this, all of this. Yes, absolutely. So now what's going on? When they keep telling you about this African American, they keep pushing the slave narrative, you won't understand that they were the Black natives that came here that were setting up the shop and helping the natives. I shared with you guys on my community tab. I tell you guys, I can't do everything in the post. On the community tab, I shared the information with you guys about the Black Pope. If you didn't see it, go back and look at it. The Black Pope, the Jesuit, okay? The Jesuit information. I shared some other information about the Jesuits as well. I think the 14 or 13 something, I can't remember the name of it, but either way, the information on these people. So these people, right, they orchestrated a fraud, and why they dumbass, like I said, I'm gonna repeat this again because they so dumb. They thought they were so smart and intelligent and being abusive while we were helping them, trading with them, this and that. They start bringing these slaves over here, setting up plantations, and oh yeah, it'd be easier if we, you guys, since we're trading together anyway, we could bring a couple of our slaves over here. We looking like slaves. What's a slave? They're just helpers. They work for us, and we feed them and take care of them. We just need a little bit of land so we can house them on, so we can reserve a spot for them that they can be there, so they can start, helping with the agriculture and stuff, and then they can help with the farming and the trading stuff we're doing. Oh, okay. So now they coming over here. They trying to set up shop, right? If they trying to set up shop, them same damn slaves done turned their shit out because they so worried about what's going on over here, because they got over here was like, dang, look what they got over here. Listen, when they came over here and see what we got, they looking like, yo, we don't give a dang about that. Y'all could have Europe. Y'all can have Europe. We're going to take this. Listen, y'all, it's so much deeper than that. It's so much more than this. I wish I could do like a 24-hour build and like literally break everything down. I'll be trying to do builds after build. By the time I want to do one build, something else come up in my mind that because of something else I talked about or was on somebody's panel that made me think about something else, and that's important, so I bring it up. It's like so much stuff. But if I could do a 24-hour build, I could lay all this shit out for y'all. Y'all think it's a game. I swear, your girl got it down pat. It ain't nothing nobody can't tell me about shit I know. And I ain't gonna say I know it all, because I definitely don't. But man, all this plot and story and how this shit work, oh, I got it all. Even this going back to people always talking about Amaru and all this other stuff. Even the name Moor, I think they took from the Amerindians. That's what we really were, right? The Amerindians. Y'all hear about that that term? Amerindians. Indians is in that. That's why I think they got the word Indians. That's why I think they termed the word Indian from. The American Indians, Amerindians are now the American Indians. So that's just I can't prove that part yet. I got a lot of documents that that prove it to me. Let me say this. I have plenty of documents and plenty of books that proves that to me, right? But I can't really prove it to y'all. So I ain't gonna show y'all that. But I'm just gonna tell y'all for a fact that that's my thought, right? So them taking that, you know, that's a whole nother thing. And also with the meridians, you know, you think about the story, they talk about the mermaids and, you know, I ain't gonna get into the metaphysical stuff, y'all, because I don't want to take y'all left. But in the Morians, yes, sis, I'm telling you, man. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you guys as well. I really appreciate y'all, even y'all energy. You know, I mean, everyone doesn't always have currency. So don't get it twisted, y'all. I don't want y'all to be like, dang, maybe I won't go with something that, you know, I need to sacrifice something just to give something to sister. Something. No, it ain't even that type of deep. But if you got it, hit your girl off. Don't be just, you know, I be seeing people, a lot of y'all in my chat. Oh, thanks. I mean, other people paying. Oh, thanks for the cash app thing. Y'all just be cash apping away. That's what be tripping me out. If I don't hear from other people, I wouldn't even think that, you know, oh, people just don't got it. Because I know they love me. You know, they just don't show the love through that type of currency. You feel me? Y'all give me the energy and the chat and stuff and the respect and the love. So I really appreciate and love that. But in the same sense, I can use the other currency as well. And if y'all could dish it out to the other platforms, why not dish your girl out a little something when I be doing this work, like really doing this for y'all? I can't even get all the information out that I want to get to y'all on a day-to-day basis. Real talk. That's why I stopped stressing myself out. If y'all look back months and months ago, I was doing builds every day. So y'all can get this info every day, killing myself. Literally. I ain't gonna even lie. Because it was just so overflowing and overwhelming. I'm like, wow, people got to understand this from my perspective. You know, the ancestors have shown me so many things. And then when I read information and then it confirms all the shit, I'll be like, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got to let the people know what I'm seeing. You feel me? So I was going so deep diving into this, like, you know, I had to pull myself back. I was jumping on every panel. I hear somebody talking about something. Oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Poor thing. They got a good idea of it. They're telling half the truth, but let me get up here and correct them. Let me help them out and give them some idea as to what they're saying and maybe give them a little more in depth or something, you know, giving them myself to all these different people. Man, cut that shit out too, as y'all see. I do it here and there. It ain't appreciated. You know, I get abused and misused, you know, disrespected a lot of times, all that. Narratives put on me. I got on the one panel a couple of weeks ago, just jumped up there. Something I really just wanted to hit on because I literally was reading about it and here this brother was doing a build on it. I get up there talking about, I was mentioning the Quakers. That dude went off on me when I'm telling him the name, when I'm saying, went to making like I was a bad guy. I'm looking like, whoa, these people really have some type of envy, hatred. I don't know what the hell they got, but whatever it is, they can keep it yonder. So they ain't got to worry about me like that, like for real. But I just love to be able to spread the knowledge, especially when it's out here. We're in the age of information. You guys are all water bearers, like literally. This is the age of Aquarius. They always, the age of Aquarius. I keep telling y'all that's coming. The water bearer. You know, information, the age of information, knowledge. You know. He said I didn't know what I was talking about, sis. I said, I mentioned the Quakers, and he said, oh, that ain't got nothing to do with that. You getting up here changing the name. I don't even know what he said. Something stupid. I'm like, yo, appreciate you, old head. And you know what? Another thing I do, y'all, because I don't even be thinking about this, I'll see the Cash App after I get off the bill. So keep in mind, if you do send me something, guys, I'll try and make sure to mention it. I promise. I be so busy in the information. I can't be checking my phone, you know, for who cashed app or whatever. But I really appreciate you guys. Just put it in there. Don't feel like, oh, I don't want to be putting it in there to act like I did something. But please put in there, sis, I just cash app you. So I can give you the love that, you know, I appreciate you or whatever, you know, because I appreciate it, brother. You know, I wouldn't consider that funny or weird enough because I really don't be paying attention to my phone, y'all. So please do that. I would appreciate that. Yes, they love sharing false information because see, they got to keep their image up, especially when they say they one of these damn people. If they telling you they are more, shit, they can't expose information about Moors. I don't care what kind of Moor they is, right? That's right, baby. All the love, even the ones that's broke, shit. Y'all know. I done hit people in the chat, you know, before a couple of times. Like one time I was building, my spirit kept hitting me. Somebody needed something, you know, and it was a specific amount and the person needed it. I sent them the Cash App right over, like literally. I give. I even support a lot of these channels that I've been disrespected on. I used to support them a lot, Last year I was a little more financially stable when it comes to this false ass currency. So I would give, quite a bit, a lot. But I give, too. I give on people's platforms that are in our community that I might go to if I have a couple of dollars and they talk about a nice subject. I hit them a couple of dollars. I don't have a problem with it, and it's not like I be having it to give like that. But if I feel the need to, I will, But yeah, peace, nephew. I definitely will. So yeah, let's get back into this, guys. We're gonna list about 5 more minutes of this nonsense. We're gonna get into this other important stuff. But yeah, let's go. Y'all heard what he said, though. Y'all heard what he said.
or uniform law that applies to all freedmen. The Cherokee Nation, the Muskogee Creek Nation, and the Seminole Nation each have their own treaty with the United States, and the Chickasaw and Choctaw Nations share a treaty in common with the United States. All 4 of these treaties have slightly different provisions relating to the freedmen. In 1896, Congress established a commission to the 5 civilized tribes to prepare membership rolls for each of the tribes in anticipation of allotting their lands. Congress directed the commission to determine applications for citizenship in each of the 5 tribes in accordance with their treaties and their laws. Congress also required the commission to make a roll of freedmen entitled to citizenship in said tribes and to include their names in the lists of members. The final rolls would remain with the Commissioner of Indian Affairs and be considered the true and correct rolls of persons entitled to the rights of citizenship in each tribe.
Like that,
in the past half century, there have been disputes within some of the 5 tribes regarding the legal status of freedmen descendants. The Cherokee Nation resolved the dispute over the status of Cherokee freedmen utilizing its own judicial and political processes. In May of last year, Secretary Holland approved the Cherokee Nation Constitution that explicitly secures the citizenship and political rights of Cherokee freedmen. In a statement accompanying her approval, Secretary Holland stated that the new Constitution, quote, fulfilled the nation's obligations to the Cherokee freedmen and encouraged other tribes to take similar steps to meet their moral and legal obligations to the freedmen. In February, I participated in consultation sessions with leaders of the 5 tribes to consider the potential for some direct services to the freedmen from the BIA and the BIE. In particular, we asked the tribe's views on whether the Bureau of Indian Education should admit certain freedmen descendants as students at Haskell Indian Nations University and at Southwestern Indian Polytechnic Institute. We continued to review feedback and comments received from that consultation and have not made any decisions on a path forward. Determining eligibility for those services is a challenge for the department when considering the freedmen descendants.
But this is why I don't sweat the cash apps, because of y'all. See, I told y'all the love when I feel it and it feel real. I can feel some fake ass shit. When I feel the real stuff, that's why I say that type of currency is just as appreciated. I swear, it's just as valuable. I promise y'all. Y'all don't even know. That's why I always be telling y'all I love y'all. Y'all always give me great energy. I tell y'all that all the time, like literally. Facts. Definitely want to say that.
The department generally defers to tribes to determine who is and who is not a tribal citizen. As tribes have inherent authority to determine who qualifies as a tribal citizen. And as sovereign parties to treaty.
On that note, when it comes to it, they have authority. Why? Because they're what? Agents. Remember? Just keep it in mind, guys. Remember, we looked at it many a time. We showed it many a time. The Indian agents were the 5 tribes. They got paid. We showed their royalties, how much they was getting paid. Come on, y'all. This shit is so evident. They keep playing with us like we stupid, saying we don't read, can't read. Oh, we read. We read very damn well, and we comprehend very damn well. And those that don't, we have those of the light that will definitely put that shit out there for them. Period. Peace, brother. Period. They keep playing with us. They so stupid.
These tribes have an important role to play in interpreting those treaties with the United States.
That's their role.
However, as Secretary Holland stated last year,
just to clarify, that's their role. They have roles. They are agents. Did you hear him say that? They have to do this by the government standards. They have to push that this is, man, just listen.
The department continues to encourage tribes to take steps to meet their moral and legal obligations to freedmen descendants. The department's grateful to have the 5 tribes together here today, along with Ms. Van, and we look forward to continuing our work with the 5 tribes and with the committee as we consider the legal rights and the status of freedmen descendants. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Newland. Chief Hoskin, please proceed with your
Through
testimony.
you, Mr. Newland.
OCO, Mr.
I
Chairman,
don't know what
members of the committee, what for
Crazy.
inviting me to speak today. Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black once wrote that great nations, like great men, should keep their promises. Cherokee Nation is keeping our promise to the Cherokee freedmen and their descendants under our Treaty of 1866. That treaty, Mr. Chairman, is a living, powerful, and foundational document that ties together every one of our agreements with the United States. When we speak of our most important treaty rights, our reservation in Northeast Oklahoma, our right to a delegate in the House of Representatives, for example, we point to the language in the Treaty of 1866, which reaffirms all of our prior treaties, not inconsistent with that treaty. Cherokees must defend and we must preserve the Treaty of 1866. Article 9 of that treaty states that, quote, all freedmen and their descendants shall have all the rights of native Cherokees, not some of the rights, all of the rights. Treaty obligations ought to mean something.
Oh, now
Mr. Chairman, you can't pick and choose which parts of a treaty
right here.
to uphold. We criticize the United States when it fails to live up to its treaty obligations, yet we in Cherokee Nation have a responsibility to live up to ours. For Cherokee Nation, the issue of freedmen citizenship was settled 156 years ago. It was settled in a treaty agreed to by the Cherokee people, ratified by this Senate, and signed by the President of the United States. Our ancestors agreed in 1866 to forever cede the right to exclude freedmen and their descendants. This means that Cherokee Nation's past actions to exclude freedmen descendants
Got the
from
nerve.
Cherokee Nation were void ab initio.
They greedy ass got the nerve to try to exclude somebody, right? Oh, we don't want to give it to them. Let's just save it for our people. They're nobody. They're not important, because see what this does. If they're claiming it, right? Anybody that's claiming they're African American, they can do the same thing. If they can trace their ancestry, they as back to these freedmen. See, now they'll be able to get all the same benefits: the $70,000 a year, 35 to $4,000 a month. Some of them depend on what they're getting. So yeah. Why would they open the door up for you guys to get money? You guys, they don't want y'all to do that. The hell, that's like crazy for them.
Void from the beginning. The enslavement of other human beings and the subsequent denial to them and their descendants of their basic rights is a stain on the Cherokee Nation. And it's a stain that must be lifted. Mr. Chairman, I offer an apology on behalf of the Cherokee Nation for these actions. Just as important, I offer a commitment to reconciliation. I'm proud of the many actions that we've taken over the last 5 years towards reconciliation. In 2017, a federal district judge decided the Nash case. That case confirmed that the 1866 treaty remains alive and well and guarantees the descendants of Cherokee freedmen shall have, quote, all the rights of native Cherokees. To bring that matter to a close, Cherokee Nation did not appeal. The day after that historic decision, our own Supreme Court affirmed full citizenship for freedmen.
Exactly.
We immediately began processing.
Exactly, Derek. Listen to the terms. Listen to the terms. Not one time. Now, mind you, this is the Senate for Indian Affairs. The Senate for the Indian Affairs hearing of 1866, reconstruction of the treaties for Indians. Everything they've said to you was Native American, Blacks, African American slaves, freedmen. They didn't even say freemen. Nowhere did they say freemen, like, oh, the freemen have rights because they were the indigenous. They didn't mention that either. They just, of course, they're going to leave that out because that's a big part of the plot, right? But they didn't mention freemen and they didn't mention Indians. right? They keep saying Native American. Why do these people always say Native Americans when talking about the so-called Indian?
Applications for citizenship from freedmen descendants. To this day, Mr. Chairman, more than 11,800 applicants have become citizens. In 2021, our Supreme Court unanimously ruled that the by blood language in our Constitution also violated our
By
obligations
blood
in the Treaty of
language.
1866. Our High Court determined that those words were invalid from inception and must be removed.
Mm.
As noted, Secretary Holland reviewed our Constitution later that year, and she wrote the Cherokee Nation had, quote, fulfilled.
Listen, they talking about Native, but remember this Indian affairs. Now look, what did they say? They said they removed by blood, the F. How can you remove? Oh, you ain't really got to be an Indian by blood. Now we're gonna take that part out of there. Does that benefit the freedmen, the freaking pioneers, and freaking Quakers and all the other Black Native groups? Are they talking about the Black Native groups or in the white natives? They ain't talking about you, huh? Shit's crazy.
Their obligations to the Cherokee freedmen.
Mm-hmm.
The Nash decision and our
Anybody can come in. Just in case y'all didn't get it, anybody can jump right in, because now the by blood is non-standing. This is why you have all these pale people jumping in the tribe. Remember, they removed by blood. How can you be an Indian if you don't have Indian blood? What kind of shit is that?
swift actions to implement it was a beginning. It was not an end. We understand that we must embrace the spirit of equality each day. For more than a century prior to the Nash case, freedmen had been disconnected from the Cherokee Nation. Many in the freedmen community did not have the same experiences, the same access to services, the same opportunities as non-freedmen citizens. It's essential that we work.
They keep telling you, you don't want to be that's a misnomer. It's a misnomer. Shit, yeah, it's a misnomer. We actually are Amerindians, so yeah, we know it's a misnomer. They took you from an Amerindian to an American Indian, and now they use Indian in the terms of law, but they're talking about you, right? It's just like if you're in a family, you have 2 boys and 2 girls in there in the family, and the student, the mom got a call from school, and they tell the mom, they say, oh, your boys. The boys of the such and such, let's say Jones, the boys of the Jones family, you know who they're talking about, these 2 boys. It could be any black kids in the school, or dark or copper or Indian kids. But when you say the Jones kid, you specifying.
To bridge that gap. So in 2020, I issued an executive order on equality, reiterating our commitment to that ideal. We also need to make sure that we are mindful of the freedmen experience. So in 2021, I announced the Cherokee Freedmen Art and History Project, which seeks to ensure that freedmen voices are represented within the Cherokee story. I'm proud to appear with my friend Marilyn Vann, who I appointed last year to our Environmental Protection Commission, the first Cherokee citizen of freedmen descent to hold a Cherokee Nation appointed government post. Mr. Chairman, I'm here today because it's a moral imperative that I be here. I'm here to proclaim that having finally kept our promise to Cherokee freedmen, Cherokee Nation is a better nation. It is a stronger nation. Mr. Chairman, I'm here representing a great nation. What else?
A great nation.
Thank you very much, Chief
We
Hoskin.
here representing all the damn fake ass. I think I had enough. I can't listen to this whole thing again. I gave y'all the link in the chat. I got enough of everything they damn saying. But I don't really want to say too many more words. It's just so much. It's so much I could say right now. I'm just so tired of the playing around, all these people that continue to, play games and feed into these people's lives and play with their narratives and pitch stories about their narratives, so on and so forth. Let me put it in the chat, babe. Appreciate it. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I'm about to get this little cash app real quick that's being offered to me. I appreciate it. So give me 1 second. I don't want to lose thought, but Let me do this real quick. Thank you so much. Much appreciated, Wolf. So when it comes to that, we got to remember. Oh, let me get the other document ready. Hold on. This is crazy right here. Let me see. I hope this is not the one that I got to go to the search. I think it is. Hold on a second, guys. Oh, nope, we good to go. Perfect. And this, maybe I should do this one instead. Hold on, guys. I got a couple of things. I don't think I'm gonna be able to go over everything now. I hate when I do this, but yeah, let me do this one. I think I'm gonna do this one. Just because we're on this topic. I can save this other topic. Oh my gosh. The whole topic I have in the title. See, y'all know this happens to me sometimes. I get the ramble in my mouth. I want to go through it, but it's so much to say sometimes and the time be speeding by. I might still be able to get to it, but the title, there's information I definitely want to get in on that for you guys. So hold on a second. Hey. Okay, we're gonna go to this. We're gonna go here, I think, because if I do that, I'm not gonna have time to show you. I'm gonna show y'all this title of this book, though. Just this right here. I just want y'all to see this to go into the subject. Look at this, y'all. This book here, I'm gonna have to probably do a build on its own because there's a couple of other things I would like to show you with this. Do y'all see this? Religion and the rise of African American and Native American literatures. They actually have a whole department, guys, dedicated to literature on African American, pushing the African American narrative and also pushing the Native American narrative. They actually have books upon 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 books of it. So much documents. There's actually documents, guys, books I can show you where they actually have plan. They have the plan set up just like a business plan of how to teach it in the schools and the arts and how it. Yo, when I tell y'all this should be crazy, I be wanting to show y'all so much, but it's not enough time. Y'all gotta believe me when I be telling y'all this stuff. Like this shit is so crazy. Just sitting here now, I just thought about that. Just the information on those books that they have. I remember I got like 3 different books I've looked at before on it, like literally talking about, the information. Them, it's absurd. Yeah. Giant cover up, the non-tax, all that, just playing with us so we don't get nothing. Keep stealing from us. We gonna let them just keep thinking they got to pay the taxes because see, long as y'all paying taxes, y'all just, who taxes y'all paying. Y'all ain't paying your own taxes. You paying their taxes. You paying their taxes. When you paying taxes, you paying their taxes. Taxes only go to corporations. It's right in the IRS that you don't have to. All taxes are not obligatory. Obligatory. You do not have to pay taxes, right? You are volunteering to do that. And why is that? You're volunteering to do it because you're volunteering to work as a slave for a corporation. You're volunteering yourself on the slave market. So your taxes are not voluntary because you're volunteering yourself to be a part of their militia group, their military organization, their corporate structure with their articles of incorporation, so on and so forth. I mean, I don't know how many times I got to tell you guys this, but yeah. Let me see. Okay, I'm about to get out the chat so I can show y'all this. I'll get to this other book real quick. Okay, I just want y'all to see that. We're gonna definitely get into a build on that, but I want y'all to see that they literally have it's literature on everything they do, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I ain't gonna even tell y'all some of the stuff that's. I'm gonna show y'all one thing before I get up out here, but I ain't gonna even read all of it. I'm gonna show y'all because I showed y'all one part of it before. So let's do this. Let me see. Let me go here. The name of this, the name of this book. This book is about the Amerindians. The Amerindians meet. Look, the Amerindians, the American Indians meet the explorers. I just want y'all to see that. Somebody put something in the chat to let me know that y'all see that what that signifies. Do y'all really get it? I want to know if anybody gets it. This is their own book. There's so many books on the Amerindians. I'm gonna do a build on them. I just haven't had time, but I'm definitely gonna do a build on it. You know, it's not a big deal because, like we know, the names are have been misnomer. So you know, people don't really understand a lot of this. But when it comes to it, yeah, this is who you are. When people be like, oh, they don't know what was y'all called before. Well, shoot, this is what we was called. I can show y'all. In antiquity times, they were indigenes because they used to reference from the soil, the sun coming from the soil of the earth. So that's why they were indigenes of the earth, and indigenes, you know, the soil, from the soil. But that's yeah, antiquity times. Now, when we're looking at this time, when around the time of the explorers, they were the Amerindians. The arrival of the Portuguese, Spanish explorers in America, the Muskegee, the Creek, the Mobilian, the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, and the Black Warrior Indians. English navigators encountering the natives. Oh man, that's a whole nother thing I want to get into. Oh, maybe I should have showed y'all that. I want to show y'all this. Hold on. I got to at least show y'all one thing on this, just because I know people say, well, it'll say this about this. And it's real hard when it comes to this Indian stuff, right? But I want y'all to see. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Pull this up real quick. I just want y'all to know how these people keep lying to you. And I'm going to show you when you go to, wait, let me see. Because I think this one is not going to show it. Hold on a second. Damn, it's not. Okay, that's okay. But let me still go to this. Now, y'all remember about 2 years ago, there was a story. Hold on. I ain't gonna get into that. I'm gonna wait and say that for when I do the Amerindian build, because I want y'all to see that about all the Amerindians. But I want y'all to see something else. Now, I want y'all to see. See for yourself that there were Aboriginals in Canada. Remember, I keep telling y'all, they keep trying to make Canada a different area because that was Seneca County. This is where the Queen, old England, remember? See what they did when these frontiersmen, the Quakers, all these people came in, they tried to switch it because, like I said, they wanted to take over this land. They want to make this their land. So they start switching, trying to make things fit into the narrative of this was their land. So this is where the switching up of things come from. England being here and Europe being over there, where they came from. Like the Etruscan Moors or these Quakers, right? Teutons from the Teutonic Order, the Knights of Templar, all of these people under the same roof, okay? Who are the Canadian Indians? Let's see. Let's read you guys a little bit of this. I'm gonna actually let it read for itself. I'm gonna get ready to get out of here in a minute. I wanted to do a nice little short build. I've been busy all weekend. I wanted to do a build yesterday. You know, it's like if I have time, I definitely be wanting to. I had a few minutes yesterday, but I didn't want to rush. So I said, let me just wait till today. Aboriginal people of Canada. If you guys can remember, about 2 years ago, that's what I was getting to. I'm sorry. About 2 years ago, they found over 200 Aboriginals in Canada under a school that was dug up. Who remembers that? Can anybody tell me who remembers that? Anybody put it in the chat if you remember that. If you remember, they dug up over 200 Aboriginal bodies that were under a school. A school was made and built over it. I wonder what kind of school it was. A plantation, reservation. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Let's go. Let's get our read on, guys.
Harry W. Daniels. This book deals with a range of complex constitutional and legal issues that Aboriginal leaders in Canada have been struggling with for much of the last 3 decades. My wish is that this book will contribute to a helpful debate about the rights of all the Aboriginal peoples of Canada, and our rightful place within our homeland. Our political battles are far from over, but at the moment there seem to be few opportunities to pursue our rights directly in the domestic political arena. In these circumstances, the decisions of the courts provide an avenue for some measure of justice and perhaps changes in government policy and practice that will facilitate cooperative political discussions. The many complex legal issues surrounding the identity and rights of the various groups of Aboriginal people in Canada were often at the forefront of the agenda during the era of negotiations on Aboriginal rights in the Constitution. I was involved in these negotiations during my term as president of the Native Council of Canada, NCC, the precursor of the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples, CAP, from 1975 to 1981, and as Western Vice President of NCC from 1983 to 1985. The high water mark of our negotiations with governments during that time was the inclusion of an Aboriginal rights clause in the so-called Patriation Amendment to the Constitution of Canada in 1982. The main reasons of the federal and provincial governments for amending the Constitution at that time were to provide a domestic amending formula and to introduce a charter of rights and freedoms. This gave us a chance to make our case for the recognition of Aboriginal peoples and our rights.
Makes sense to me.
As one of the participants in the events that led to the adoption of that clause, I would like to recount my experience in securing an historic constitutional provision that expressly recognized the 3 groups of Aboriginal peoples, and specifically, the Métis people. In January 1981, when the Patriation Amendment was agreed upon, the NCC represented both the Métis and unrecognized or unregistered Indians. The latter are those Indian people, commonly called non-status Indians, who are not
they suffer the same
recognized
thing.
under the federal definition of Indian in the Indian Act, and who consequently are not included in federal Indian policies that apply only to registered Indians, including entitlement to residence on Indian land reserves. The following describes what happened at those crucial meetings in Ottawa in the negotiations over the Aboriginal Rights Clause. My recollections of those events are assisted by contemporaneous notes taken by my assistant, Janet Whiteman, which are contained in the archives of CAP in Ottawa. On January 30, 1998-1, a special joint committee of the House of Commons and the Senate on the Constitution met in the West Block of the Parliament buildings in Ottawa.
Wait a minute.
I received a call in the afternoon
did they
from
say,
Jean Craig,
did they say the Parliament buildings in Ottawa? But what would U.S. Congress and, all these things have, what would they have to do with Canada? If Canada is a different country. If Canada is a different country from America, right? What would Congress have to do with that, with Canada? Like, why is it the same things applying? Why is it like, if I show you some of this other shit, I'll probably show you when I do the Amerindians. I'm going to do the Amerindian and the Aboriginal Canadian Indians together so you guys can really see this, like, really. So y'all know why I keep telling y'all about this England thing. Shit, so crazy.
Of Justice, informing me that the committee was about to deal with the Aboriginal rights provision, which was then Section 24. When I arrived, the leaders of the Inuit Committee on National Issues, ICNI, Eric Taguna, and Mark Gordon, pulled me aside and explained to me that the Joint Committee was prepared to recommend the inclusion of the following provision in the Constitution of Canada. The Aboriginal rights of the Aboriginal peoples of Canada are hereby recognized and confirmed. I discussed this development with Peter Ittenauer, Member of Parliament for Nunitchuk. I said the proposal was good but not good enough. I insisted that for purposes of clarity, it must be stated that Aboriginal peoples includes Indians, Inuit, and Métis, and that the term not be left open to interpretation at a later date. I then spoke with Dal Riley, President of the National Indian Brotherhood, NIB, Warren Almond, and Eric Taguna. Dell stated that the NIB was satisfied with the proposed article and did not agree it should be amended as I had urged. At this point, the Minister of Justice asked the chairman, Serge Joyal, for a 15-minute break to discuss the Aboriginal Rights Amendment while the three national Aboriginal leaders were present. Crait Yan immediately approached me, and upon hearing my proposal for a change, asked if I would go to London to support patriation if the proposal were accepted. I agreed, provided Métis was included. Minutes later, Crait Yan announced he had negotiated as far as possible and could not support my proposal. I should allow my assistant's notes to describe my reaction at this point.
But I thought that the Patawan Nation, Ottawa, was Virginia. It wasn't Virginia, just one small state. Oh, y'all want me to show y'all about Virginia? Oh gosh, y'all. We're gonna open a whole can of worms with this information. When I tell you, I be trying not to go down one rabbit hole after the next, but it's so much. They have the women that have set up. Okay, I'm gonna say that for another bill. Hold on, let's go.
HWD was angry and frustrated. With clenched fist he replied, "Then I mobilize my people. That's the only thing we'll accept." Crait Yan left to confer with Jake Epp, spokesman for the Progressive Conservative Party on the committee, and Peter Idnur OL, the New Democratic Party.
But they talking about
NDP.
Canada. Are you
Upon
listening?
returning to the room, Crait Yan asked my assistant where I was, and he explained that he had called Prime Minister Trudeau, and that she should tell him I'll agree to all his points. I had been invited to meet with Epp, who gave the support of the Conservatives. The NDP also agreed, as did Warren Almond. The meeting was reconvened, and Crait Yan asked Peter Idnur to read the motion in English. Almond then read it in French. Idnur then thanked the committee and Crait Yan and Trudeau for their efforts, and announced, "Now we can build a stronger nation." The new Aboriginal rights provision was then passed unanimously by all parties. That is how Métis got into Section 35 of the Constitution Act, 1982. It was the first constitutional provision that generally recognized the Métis and their rights, and only the second time since the recognition of the Métis in Section 31, the Land Rights section of the Manitoba Act, 1870, that the Métis were expressly mentioned in the Constitution of Canada. It was an historic moment. We knew, however, that we needed more political negotiations to agree on the meaning of the new clause, and so we also secured a promise to hold a First Ministers' Conference to further elaborate the Aboriginal rights provision. This became Section 37 of the Constitution Act, 1982. A quick review of events following the adoption of Sections 35 and 37 will explain how we came to the situation in which we now find ourselves, asking the courts to do what the politicians would not. It also teaches us some valuable lessons about the place of Aboriginal peoples and their rights in Canadian constitutional politics. The four First Ministers' conferences that were held on the subject between 1983 and 1987 did not yield a political consensus. The meetings bogged down on the meaning of existing and the substantive meaning of self-government. The result of this political impasse was that Aboriginal leaders were never presented with a proposal on the definition of our rights which could be considered. That is why we are led to the courts now. It is not our preference. We would rather reach a negotiated agreement, but what choice do we have? The Meech Lake Accord, a proposal for constitutional amendments to respond to demands by the province of Quebec, followed the First Ministers' conferences. This was a reminder to Aboriginal people that what really concerned these national attempts at constitutional reform was the Quebec separatist agenda. Quebec's demands for greater autonomy had created a heightened sense of self-preservation among the other provinces. Provincial protectionism was another factor that worked against efforts by Aboriginal leaders to secure constitutional changes to recognize and protect Aboriginal interests. The final national attempt at constitutional reform was the Charlottetown Accord of 1992, which was rejected in a national referendum. With the accord's rejection went a specific agreement, a subset of the Charlottetown Accord, the Métis Nation Accord. It had been negotiated between the Métis National Council, MNC, the Government of Canada, and the provinces of British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. The MNC had been created in 1983, after a split with NCC, which had until then represented the Métis. The whole national exercise of amending the Constitution, which ended with the 1992 Charlottetown Accord, was not led by any widespread regard for the rights of Indigenous peoples in Canada. It was led by the reaction to Quebec separatism. The traditional political struggles between French and English-speaking Canadians had changed into a new struggle between Quebec separatism and the rest of Canada, now not so English anymore. The switch from a French-Canadian ethnic nationalism to Quebecois civic nationalism, based upon common civil rights within territorial boundaries and residence rather than upon ethnic identity, contained an important lesson for the Métis. The whole national exercise of amending the Constitution, which ended with the 1992 Charlottetown Accord, was not led by any widespread regard for
Did I
Alberta,
go back?
Saskatchewan,
I think I went back.
Manitoba,
Hold on,
the whole
guys.
the rest of Canada, now not so
This.
English anymore.
The rest of Canada, now not so English. If it's not so English, that would mean it would have to be English prior. I mean, is y'all with me? I mean, I'm not like a deep thinker, but I mean, just the comprehension of it all. I'm just saying, like, Davion, let me drop this link so you can go. We can go into this stuff with you real quick because I think I'm gonna end it with going over a little bit of this. Davion, if you want to come up and go over that, what we're I forgot what I asked you about earlier, but yeah, guys, who understands that? Who understands that? Did y'all hear what he just said? I'm gonna repeat it. The Quebec separatism and the rest of Canada now not so English anymore. Now not so English anymore. So it had to have been so English before. If it's not so English anymore, it would have to have been so English when we think about it, right? It would have to have been so English when it was the Old English. Old England, right? Old England per se. That part. Right. Yeah. See, my people always with me. That's why I love y'all. Y'all the best. Y'all everything right now, for real. Yeah. Just calling me English. An old English woman. May have had Scottish ancestry. A bit of Dutch. That's old Dutch. Maybe some Germanic. German, you know. Come the fuck on. Man, they keep playing with y'all, but I ain't gonna play with y'all. I'm gonna keep it real. Let's go.
Switch from a French-Canadian ethnic nationalism to Quebecois civic nationalism, based upon common civil rights within territorial boundaries and residence rather than upon ethnic identity, contained an important lesson for the Métis. Quebec politicians used their power as a province to push for a new Quebecois identity, in spite of
the English,
the protestations of the English minority and the Aboriginal peoples in the province.
The English who?
Aboriginal people face tremendous challenges in asserting identities that transcend provincial boundaries and rely on historic ethnic
the English
identities.
And the Aboriginals
The
in the same
Quebec
colony?
experience shows the importance of a politically demarcated territory upon which jurisdiction can be asserted, and highlights the significance of Aboriginal people's demands for land-based self-government. Our dreams to promote the rights of Aboriginal peoples as nations within Canada were dimmed by the failure of the Charlottetown Accord. In 1996, the Royal Commission on Aboriginal Peoples, RCAP, also proposed that Canada recognize the inherent right of Aboriginal nations to self-government within Canada under Section 35.
Really?
The
You
Government
don't
of
say.
Canada, which has yet to come, meant on the constitutional
You
vision
don't
of
say that the
RCAP.
Canadian Englishman is
People's
allowed to
demands for
self-govern.
land-based the protestations of the English minority and the Aboriginal peoples in the province. Aboriginal people face tremendous challenges in asserting identities that transcend provincial boundaries and rely on historic ethnic identities. The Quebec experience shows the importance of a politically demarcated territory upon which jurisdiction can be asserted, and highlights the significance of Aboriginal people's demands for land-based self-government. Our dreams to
Oh,
promote
really?
the rights of Aboriginal peoples as nations within Canada were dimmed by the failure of the Charlottetown Accord. In 1996, the Royal Commission on Aboriginal Peoples, RCAP, also proposed that Canada recognize the inherent right of Aboriginal nations to self-government within Canada under Section 35. The Government of Canada, which has yet to comment on the constitutional vision of RCAP, or to offer an alternative vision, continues its tactics of delay and obfuscation.
That part.
This recent history recalls the alternative strategies that had been identified by our people during the course of our constitutional
Oh, really now?
negotiations over 2 decades ago.
Oh, really now?
During wide consultations with our constituents, we had identified the issues that are again the subject of discussion in this book. In a publication approved by the NCC in August 1979, a plan of action identified 3 ways in which the question of our rights could be approached. Point 1. He first and most preferable was through direct political negotiations with the government. The second idea was a joint commission of the Government of Canada and the NCC. A third option was litigation, an option we are still forced to consider.
So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Did I blow your mind tonight? With just the literal truth. Like the literal truth can blow your mind, like the light, the energy. It's saying your device. Oh, there it go. It's saying it's not connected, brother. Check the settings. You know what I'm saying? The brother up here. Let's go. Peace, 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 brother. How are you? We about to get this your video pulled up, and then we can go over it.
Hey now. I'm doing pretty good. How you? I'm glad to be here with y'all tonight.
Yes, 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 brother. I keep telling these people about Old English, Jerusalem, all these Bible stories, all this stuff about y'all ancestors. They keep telling you somewhere else. I just get so tired of it. So I think I just wanted to bring a little proof for them to see it. You know, I talk about a lot of stuff, but sometimes it's kind of, you know, I have to put the information together for a person to look at it because I don't want them to think I'm just talking, brother. So I'm kind of in the middle of that, and that's where we were. And this comes right in time. So I'm so glad that you jumped up to join me before we get out of here. I'm going to give you the floor, and I'll play the video. And we'll go over, you know, anything after. If it's something you wanted to stop on for a minute or so, just let me know, okay?
Okay, so I can't see. I'm on the cell phone. You know my struggle. My phone's small. I can't really make out what's on the screen. Is this my the video I sent you?
Yes, this is the one that's showing the Moses Ventress.
Oh yeah. That's proof right there. I got the records for my files alone. I got 14,000 records and hints that could prove that the England over there really the England over here. Same difference.
We're gonna have to talk about that, brother, definitely, because I need to get some of them records to go with this information I got. I got some genealogical books. So
let's work it out, because I like you was talking about the Quakers. I'm a Quaker. I could go straight to my ancestry tree and find my Quakers. I could find my freedmen. I got all the information. I just don't be knowing what to do with it, you know. But I know how to get anything. But yeah, I got over 1,400 people on my tree alone dating back just on Ancestry, not even the Connect genealogical websites where I dated my stuff back to 700 AD.
Yes, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So let's get into this, brother. I want to show this video because I don't want to be too much longer. I've been on about an hour and a half, but I definitely want you to go over some of this. So let's show the video, and then you can kind of elaborate on the information that I've been telling my people this for a minute, bro. I done been cursed out behind it. People tell me I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm too new to the community. They've been around for umpteen years, you know, but I have all the proof. I keep showing these people, and I don't know why they can't see it. So I'm so glad you can, you know, to be able to show this information on your actual records, because I have mine as well. I've just started doing my genealogy not too long ago. I really don't have a lot of time for stuff and so on and so forth, but at the same time, you know, I've traced mine, and I already know that I have royalty in my line. I don't even get into my line because I don't put all my business out to everybody. But what is going on is it's all been proven to me. And this is why the ancestors took me on this path of last year. Like literally, it just came to me one day, like, oh, this is Old English. I'm laying there like, whoa, you know, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, and I've been on it ever since. And sure enough, as soon as I started doing my genealogy, it traced right back to it. I said, come on, ancestors, come through. But let's go, bro. We're finna play this video real quick.
Look. Okay. Look at the dates. See, I'm so I believe if this the 14-minute video right there.
Yeah. Let me fast forward.
16. Yeah, go ahead and fast forward to some. I mean, like I say, I got so many people I can't memorize everything, especially when you're trying to squint and see.
Okay, let's start here.
But like, yeah, come up with anything. You can go to where you can see. I'm a Windsor. I'll come out and say my you know, I'm descended from the Windsors. The ones that got the castle now over there. That's where my bloodline comes from. And I got the proof. I gotta keep going because I gotta find and I got the genealogy. I got the matriarch that go all the way back to the 1600s. So that's you don't have to debate who the daddy is.
I wanted to show the chart.
But right there. I see it right there. They're my people. There you go. That's where I'm descended from. Yeah, I'm glad somebody's seeing this. See, I just click on, click off. You have to rewind a little bit or something. I'll just be going. I wish I could just. I had a presentation where I could go through it.
I seen in there so they could see. I tell when I do people's estate plan, I try to tell them how important it is to have a crest. I saw a crest you had.
Oh yeah, I got a lot. I got all my crests.
I'm looking now. Okay, let's go here.
Yes, this is the media. Okay, there goes some right there. Yep, there they go. There goes some. Yeah, it's around that. I tried to put everything on the video. Look at that. Oh yeah, that too. Look. That's the money they paid the slaves with right there. You can zoom back in on.
I can't zoom in on the video.
Oh yeah. I'm tripping. I don't know.
Y'all can see it though. You see it says, now listen, I'm gonna read something. Y'all know we were reading last week on the Confederate soldiers, right? And we was looking at the money that were paid to the Confederate soldiers. Now look at this. Do you have this picture? You can send me, brother, because I do want to blow it up because I want to show this.
Yeah, it's in my heritage. Yeah, I have to go back and read exactly what pertains to my family. But yeah, I have to. I got it in my. I wish I could just. I'm gonna figure it out. I just been displaced. I'm in East St. Louis now, by the way.
That's fine, brother. That's fine. But real quick, I want to make a point about this bill. It says on here, I don't know if you guys can see it. It says slave holder, and then it says, it says Confederate States of America, the Confederate States of America, which we were going to get into. The Confederated States, right? Okay, hold on. Wait, let me just slow down. Let me show this part real quick. Let's finish this real quick. Hold on, brother. I'm gonna see what else is on here. I wanted them to see.
There's so much on there. We really just have to sit, but there you go. Yeah.
It's showing you the money up close. That's what I'm gonna do. I probably.
Oh yeah, and I shared it to Facebook. I'm egotistical. Anything I find, I share. Yeah, those are all my records. You can't get those unless they pertain to your family, to you. So I got a lot of hints, a lot of that's so Illinois. I don't know why I zoomed in, but that's where I'm from. I was born right there. Red River. Colorado. That's my cousin.
One of my ancestors, one of my ancestors, this is crazy. So it goes back to one of my great grandfathers. So when they go to like, I think it's like the fifth, I could be wrong, either the fifth or the sixth grandfather, it says that he's Indian, right? Then when you look, I can't remember what the terminology is. It might have said Indian. If I'm not mistaken, I think it did say Indian. It might have said Indian on there. So on something with the record, it said Indian, the birth, right? And then when you look at the father, it might have said black color. I don't remember. I could be mistaken on that part. But either way, y'all know what I mean. So when it went to his dad, right? It said that his dad was white. But then when it went to his dad's dad, it said the same thing, either Indian colored or whatever it was that the fifth grandfather said. Now, that right there is proof in itself of how they changed the records, because certain royalty, they wanted to go back to these people that stole the names and see now these people are using your name under their tree, and they done went under the ancestry shit and changed the person's race and added to their family tree, and now the race is different in the records and it's showing up as white. That's what's going on.
Boom.
This is why I to do your genealogy.
Yep. That's why I came up thinking about that on my own. And they changed the pictures and stuff and everything. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that's my cousin Shadat. I know her right there. She a Harper.
We're up together in the same house. Shadat. But
I was basically going through them all real quick. I think I slowed down somewhere and went into each one too, if I'm not mistaken. To each crest, family crest. You have to fast forward or something.
You know what? She never after my mama. I never thought about that, Dottie. Yeah, I never knew.
Oh yeah, I'm clicking in them now. Yeah. Yeah, that's so many crests that I'm tied to right there, and I got the right there. You see that?
All these is mine. All these, one way or another, my bloodline, my family. The crest over there. I own this.
I did the work.
Look, it's important. Tell the story.
I be sounding sleazy on that.
Yeah, see, guys, some people have their crest. Like a lot of people that get the class, they have a crest, but some people don't. You can create a crest if you don't have an ancestry crest. When it comes to like this, you definitely want to use it if you have it.
I'm glad you was talking about that course on how to use them, because I have so many of them. I want to use every last one if possible.
And then when you try to
Well,
share
each
the
one would have
album,
to have its
not
own
what you
individual
click on.
trust. Because
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I have to be prepared for that war as soon as I will. I'll hit you on that level.
Yeah, that's what they do on our archive. You know how many books I go to on archive that I have, and then now when you go to it, because I didn't download the book, I can't even get the book no more. Talking about the borrow not available. How the hell the borrow not available?
Yes. Yep. Same thing with Google Earth. I can't get those maps no more. They took the whole platform off the Google Earth app, but I got the videos when you could use those maps. They changed the whole platform.
Well, what you talking about, sweetheart? But it don't trace us back to no Europeans. Europeans was saying they ain't have shit. How the hell they even had a crest when they didn't even have a slice of bread? Get your ass out my chat.
They're just more products of the system that they're part of. But
oh yeah, they don't know anyways. Let them.
These guys to do stuff like that.
Okay, so yeah, we're about to I wanted to thanks for jumping up, brother. I definitely want to show that so people could see, like, literally the lines go. Oh, I got a headache. The lines go back to to our ancestors that were here. I just showed the book in Canada talking about the Aboriginals there that were English. Like, come on, Sha. Please, I don't like discourse in my chat, and I definitely don't like nobody coming up here. If you ain't paying attention to what's going on, don't comment. Let's do that. I don't like distractions. I really don't. Get to talking too much. My sister gonna be on you. So, but yeah. All right, brother. I'm gonna hit you, and we're gonna definitely do something soon. On what you was talking about. Definitely gonna talk about some of those records, so on and so forth.
Okay, I'm with it. You got my number. Hit me up anytime.
All right, brother. Peace and love. Appreciate you.
Peace and love.
And guys, with everything that, wait a minute. Yeah, Shy Son. I don't know. Somebody, one of y'all get rid of whoever that is. Let me know if they got a moderator badge so they can get gone. It's right here, sis. Let me show you right here. Right there, sis. Right there. Let me pull this document up for you real quick. Show y'all. Now, anybody in the chat, I want y'all to tell me if y'all remember me showing you guys the when the United States Corporation was purchased for $500. Remember, for the 3 culprits. Who remembers that? Somebody put a 1 in the chat. I need to know that y'all seen that before I get to this. So real quick, anybody remember? A couple of you guys, I need to know. Who remembers seeing the articles of incorporation and the paperwork for the United States Corporation bought in 1914 that we showed on Empress channel and my channel? Who remembers seeing that? Do you guys remember? Bad Saint, thank you. Somebody remembers. Okay. If one person remember, I can't please everybody. So let's go. Now, I'm sorry, y'all, but that's how it is right now. Now, I want to show y'all because this is the original. Now, check it out. I was going to do this by itself. This is what the bill was supposed to be on. And then I was going to get into the other stuff, but I started backwards. I hate when I do that because it does take away from the time. This one is, hold on, let me see. Okay. Just getting into the information. They got all the information on this. I'm gonna read it to you guys. Oh, this show. Okay, yeah, it's right here. I think this starts here. Okay, yes. The American History leaflets. We're gonna browse through them real quick because I'm not gonna do all the information on it. You know, we did go over this stuff, but I definitely want to make sure you guys. The name origin. Do you know what the name origins come from? Do you know? I thought y'all was about to get him out my chat. Like, I don't like distractions. Can y'all please? I don't play with people. I'm over here to teach you, brother. I don't play games and shit. I ain't got no time for that. Somebody get his ass out my chat. Block him from the chat. Anybody. Or y'all need me to take time to do it? Because this I can do it my damn self. See, I can't play games with people. I am not the one at all. I ain't got to argue with you. I don't give a damn what you say, what you thinking, none of that shit. You need to go on with that, you know, trying to get my spirit out because you want me to about curse your ass out. That's what's going to happen. Okay, let's see. I always want these fucking demons coming over here trying to aggravate me. Let me aggravate Sister Soul so she can get off her game. Nah, bitch, I ain't off shit. Okay, check this out. American History leaflets 7 through 12. Let's just go over these. One is going to be the Articles of Confederation of the United Colonies. It was not the United States because they were not states. It was the Confederation. It was a Confederation. Remember, we read some of the Confederate documents. Remember, we read some of the Confederate soldiers, information. Remember? Okay. So, Articles of Confederation of the United Colonies of New England. Articles of Confederation of the United Colonies of New England, creating a New England. Because now they have to reorchestrate and reconstruct the old England to make it something else. 1643 to 1687. The exact text of the Constitution of the United States and the accompanying documents from 1787 to 1870. Documents describing the voyage of John Cobbett in 1497. Also, the Governor McDuffie's message on the slavery question. I'm going to get into that too another day. Oh, my gosh. When it comes to that, oh, gosh. Let me just slow down because it just be so much. And I get overwhelmed with this information myself sometimes, just trying to figure out how to get it out. I do a bill and try to put 2 or 3 things in it. This, that, blah, blah, blah. But we definitely gonna get into that too. Jefferson's proposed instructions, the Virginia delegates of 1774, the original draft of the Declaration of Independence of 1776. Let's go. Ordinances of the succession and other documents from 1860 to 1861. And let's get into it. First one, the American history leaflets from the colonial and constitutional, articles of confederation of the United Colonies of New England, the United Colony. They became a united colony, a confederation to create New England. Like, do y'all like get it? Like, come on, stop letting these people fool you. I know y'all smarter than this. Okay, come on, let's go. American history leaflet on that, the articles from 1643. We ain't gonna get into all the articles. I can read them to y'all, but we ain't gonna do all that. I just want y'all to see it. Hold on. I'll let y'all see a little bit of this one. I don't want to take too much time on this, but I want y'all to see this. They moving out slow. Don't want to load up for y'all. See how they do? Look in the Internet Archive. I had a book I literally was looking at one day, and the next day they had the shit blocked. I'm like, damn, I didn't get a chance to download it on the computer. Pissed me off. Look, Articles of Confederation on the colonies of New England, New Haven, Connecticut, settled for the scheme, settled before a scheme was brought forward for Confederation. Listen, I want y'all, I'm gonna actually do this whole page right here. Just I wasn't gonna even get into it because, man, I'd be wanting to go further, but we're gonna at least read a little of this for y'all. Let's go.
MMMWA_TM_UL Dollar Colonial and Constitutional. Edited by Albert Bushnell Hart and Edward Channing of Harvard University.
All of them.
New York. A Lovell and co-published by
They got them, sis. That's why you don't see them.
Annual subscription Y 30 cents. Entered at the New York Post Office as second-class matter. Number 7. January, 1893. Price.
Yeah, get everyone.
CKNTS copyright 1893 by A. Lovell and CQ. The Articles of Confederation of the United Colonies of New England.
Listen.
1643 to 1684.
Just to clarify,
the colonies of New Haven.
Before being called, let me put that in the chat for anybody that comes in late and may not get this part, right? Before it was the United States of America, which is the new name. Remember that it was Meridian, but they changed it. It was United Colonies, the United Colonies of England. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, come on. I hate when I do that. Okay. America. Move the RI. Lord, come on, thing. Stop playing with me. Okay. Before. You deleted your own chat. I am your mindset. He deleted his own chat. That's right. You can only trust yourself. Now, let's continue to read. Take it off. I know some of my silent students sitting in the back taking notes so they can do a nice build on this soon. So please, feel free to take some screenshots.
And Connecticut were hardly settled before a scheme was brought forward for a confederation between them and the older colonies on the bay. As far back as 1637 the matter seems to have been agitated, and again in 1638, but it was not until 1643, when the Puritans had become very strong in England, and the colonists had been left in a great measure to their own resources, that the Confederation was brought about. In 1643 committees from Massachusetts, New Plymouth, Connecticut, and New Haven met at Boston and drew up the following articles. These articles are here printed with the modern scheduling, as the spelling in the original was so very bad that it seemed to the editors best in this case at least to put the words in modern dress. Otherwise the articles are printed word for word from the copy in the archives of Plymouth, which is printed in the Plymouth Kalofki Records, Volume 9, and which is also printed in Bradford's NE7U Plymouth Plantation _V ******* ****V HCL \C. Other places. The copy in Wint by Rops New England, NOL /.****NV ICT, varies in many important respects XRGM the copy preserved in the Happy Face, CBS of Plymouth, which agrees substantially with that preserved in the Connecticut archives, and therefore we have used the Plymouth copy as the best text. As showing the reason for the drawing up of the articles, extracts from Bradford's New Plymouth Plantation and Winthrop's ****New England are printed before the articles. Following the articles are two votes of interest in connection with the articles. Bradford's statement * by reason of the plottings of the Narragansetts, ever since the Pequot's War, the Indians were drawn into a general conspiracy against the English in all parts, as was in part discovered the year before, and now made more plain and evident by many discoveries and free confessions of sundry Indians, upon several occasions, from divers places, concurring in one, with such other concurring circumstances as gave them sufficiently to understand the truth thereof, and to think of means how to prevent the same, and secure themselves. Which made them enter into this more near union and confederation following. Winthrop's statement. T. At this court came the commissioners from Plymouth, Connecticut, and New Haven, V.J. Carrot. From Plymouth Mr. Edward Winslow and Mr. Collier, from Connecticut Mr. Haynes and Mr. Hopkins, and whom Mr. Fenwick of Saybrook joined, from New Haven Mr. Theophilus Eaton and Mr. Grigson. Our court chose a committee to treat with them, viz. The governor and Mr. Dudley and Mr. Bradstreet, being of the magistrates, and of the deputies. Captain Gibbons, Mr. Ting the treasurer, and Mr. Hatham. These coming to consultation encountered some difficulties, but being all desirous of union and studious of peace, they readily yielded each to other in such things as tended to common UTIUD, and C, so as in some 2 or 3 meetings they lovingly accorded upon these ensuing articles, which, being allowed by our court, and signed by all the commissioners, were sent to be also ratified by the general courts of other jurisdictions, only Plymouth Bradford's New Plymouth Plantation, 2.
The Plymouth
416,
Plantation.
1643.
Y'all hear this?
Drops in
Hold on. Don't go too fast.
Suing articles,
Listen.
which, being allowed by our court, and signed by all the commissioners, were sent to be also ratified by the general courts of other jurisdictions, only Plymouth Bradford's New Plymouth Plantation, 2.
Plymouth.
416,
There's your Plymouth Rock.
1643.
There's Plymouth Rock.
Drops N New England, 2. 99, mark \V3, L I6V. Missioners, having power only to treat, but not to determine, deferred the signing of them till they came home, but soon after they were ratified by their general court also. Those of Sir Ferdinando Gorge his province, beyond Pascataquac, were not received nor called into the confederation, because they ran a different course from us both in their ministry and civil administration, for they had lately made a commenticus, a poor village, a corporation, and had made a tailor their mayor, and had entertained one Hull, an communicate person and very contentious, for their minister.
Y'all heard that? A poor village, a corporation, and made a tailor their mayor. Y'all hear this? Do y'all see the irony of this nonsense? I'm gonna end it here, y'all, because this is gonna get a little deeper. We're gonna come back to this another time. I wanted to definitely just show you guys this. It just be so much nonsense, guys. I swear. Plymouth Rock was, yes, it was an organization. A small little poor group of damn people. You know. Let me play this video real quick too. A small little group, you know, that it's so crazy, y'all. I just get so tired of trying to figure out what I want to show y'all. It's so much shit and so much nonsense and stupid stuff that it's like, damn, I want to talk about one thing. I get distracted because it just be so much. It's just so sick. The way that we are, just under so much subjugation of lies, indoctrination, sorcery, witchcraft, yeah, all kinds of shit. I like it's just so annoying and tiring. I'm gonna play this video before we get out of here, guys. Hold on a second. Where is it at? Is it in here? I don't want to waste too much time looking for it either, but okay, yeah. Wait, y'all, hold on. I think this is it. Yeah. Look at this. Hold on. All right, y'all. This is gonna play for a minute too. So hold on. Let's get it going. Plymouth Plantation. Exactly. World pioneers. When they got that native corn shit, the native corn is what we had corn. Feed it. The blue bloods, you already know, bro. The blue blood. Keep telling y'all. You notice it didn't say the Trail of Native Tears or, the Trail of Tears for the Native Americans or, any of that. It specifically said Indians. I just wanna let me just go back a second. I want to make sure y'all saw that. Indians, the Potawatomis, the forced march for the Trail of Tears, the book, the Indian story. It's always Indian. It's never the Native American. When you hear about Native American story, it talks about the Native Americans. It talks about their story. You know what I'm saying? They're the things that they learned in school, right? Man, this shit gets so crazy. I'm about to get ready to get up out of here, guys. Been a little bit over 2 hours, and I just wanted to make sure that we got out here and got some good old information to you guys to dig into. I know I wanted to go into the other information, but we would definitely get into it a little bit more sometime this week. Maybe tomorrow if I have time, I'm not sure, but peace, love, and bliss to everyone. And yeah. I wish you guys have a great evening. I want you guys to soar high and exceed yourself in everything with any type of limitations that may be placed on you. They're not there. That's only in your mind. There's no limitations placed on you. Like you are absolute current etheric energy. Your soul is connected to everything that is so powerful. So all you got to do is dig in, connect yourself to that particular source, and boom, you got it too. Like real talk. So peace, love, and bliss to everybody. Much love. Y'all already know. I hope you guys enjoyed the programming of breaking down portals. Like I believe in, guys. Break down them portals. The maze of lies they put up so that you're always following and running into a wall. You go down one valley, oh, it's a wall. You stuck. Now you got to figure out the next step so you can try to get to the next end, so on and so forth. You stuck. All that happens for a reason. It's intentional. It's stagnant to keep you in the maze. But we busting down portals over here. I'm gonna make sure I keep y'all out there. I'm gonna open the door for you. Let me be a gentle woman. I shall open the door for you. Hey, come on through. You help me. I help you. So I appreciate you guys though. Much love. Peace, bliss, and love, guys. I truly am out.